Hello everyone, welcome to Euan and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Euan. Euan is from Scotland in the UK. So let's see what Euan has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Hello. Yes, I can hear you now. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Before we start the game, Euan, so tell me where are you from?
Scotland.
Scotland? Which city?
So originally from Aberdeenshire in the northeast, but I've been living in Glasgow for 3 years now.
All right. And what do you do for a living?
I'm an actor currently, well, trying to be an actor. I just left college.
Okay.
I just graduated this summer. But then the whole pandemic thing, so I didn't graduate or do my end of year show or things. So right now I'm working in a children's soft play area, and I host children's parties.
Okay.
But also that's all closed just now. But that's technically where I'm working. But I'm trying to get into acting a bit more and hopefully make a living that way.
Absolutely. What's the best part of being an actor, in your opinion?
Best part, I think it's the fact that I'm able to tell stories and make people feel like a certain way just by saying something. Like just having something like I remember I was like any shows that I've done where people have come up like, oh, that was so good, or that was something like at least you felt something. So just that ability to just tell a story.
Absolutely.
And maybe help someone in the process, because I know that's helped me a lot. It's like my favorite movies and all that. Like if I ever stuck with something, like right, pop on Jurassic Park, pop on Star Wars.
Oh, wow. And what was the most challenging part? What's, in your opinion, the most challenging part of being an actor?
The hardest part being an actor, like right now, professionally, is the fact that I'm not able to get any work anywhere.
Right.
And just having to apply for things, and then either not hearing back or people saying, "Oh, I'll get back to you by this date," and then they never get back to you.
I see.
And just trying to find your own motivation when everything's like putting you the opposite direction. They're like, "Oh, that's not work," or "That's not going to work out," or you just never hear back. So I think that's the hardest thing just now, is just
it's like the wait season,
constantly trying to just keeping something like, I just want to do something. I just want to do some acting. But I can't seem to get any just now.
I'm
not
sure.
an ideal situation, but
yeah,
I knew that when I was getting into the industry. Like when I was getting in, I knew that's what to expect. It's like, if you can't handle rejection, this is not the industry for you, because you will get rejected constantly.
I see. Okay, Euan, so welcome to Euan and the Magic Box. Full of random fun questions, okay? I'm just gonna play a music now just for us to get in the mood before the first question. Are you ready?
Okay, sure.
Let's do it. Okay, let's get the first question for Euan. Let's do it. What can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
Making me cry, most things. More recently, through this whole pandemic thing, I've been a bit more emotional.
Right.
So anything relating to one that got me was the new film, the Onward, on Disney and Pixar, because that's about these two brothers and their loss of a dad, and I lost my dad when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
And also was a defining point for me. I've been a young carer from a young age, and then I was 17, and my dad died in the space of 3 days. And so he went to hospital on Sunday, and then he was dead on Tuesday. But happy, there's nothing that makes me happier than doing a performance and knowing it's gone really well. If your friends are there, your family are there, and it's gone really well, and there's nothing that quite beats that feeling of just yes, we've done it! Yes!
That's the best, isn't it? The best feeling.
So that's probably what makes me happiest. But anything sort of relating to my dad, a dad or a parent, that's been getting me a bit more recently.
Emotional.
For being sad.
May I ask what was the cause of your dad's path? What was the reason?
So my dad, he wasn't a well person. He'd been ill for most of my like younger years. Like he was in and out of hospital all the time.
Okay.
And then he had a stroke when I was very young, and then that's how I ended up being on the young carers system, and just having to like provide care for my dad and different bits and pieces. And then him and mum separated, so they've been separated for a while, and he now had his own wee flat. So I'd go around and I'd do dishes, or I'd help him like fold away his clothes or things. So it was always sort of a way I was always having to look after him.
I see.
Which I didn't mind. But then he went in on. I used to teach a class on a Saturday.
Right.
I used to help teach a musical theatre class with my drama teacher, who helped me like from like 8, and then helped me learn how to be an actor and put me on the path I'm on.
Right.
But I went round to his one night after class, as I did on that weekend, because it was on the way home. Like he'd lived around the corner from me.
Okay.
And everyone was there. So there was my little brother, my mum was there. My brother had also popped in with the dog. The dog was there.
Okay.
And mum was like, the ambulance is on its way.
Right.
Your dad's not well. So they came in. They did their test. Like, we don't know what the problem is. So we're gonna have to take him in because we know there's definitely something wrong, but we don't know what it is right now.
I see.
So they took him in, and he was in Sunday. I went in to see him, and he was bad. Like he was having hallucinations. Like he was saying, "Oh, I've got 2 oranges here." Like he's not got any oranges. I've got 2 oranges. And then I'd walk past. It's like there's multiples of you. So I had like delayed vision. He was like, I can see multiple of you.
I see.
And then I didn't go in on the Monday. And then on the Tuesday, I got back from my class, my acting class, and Mum got a phone call and was like, "Oh, you need to." It was a hospital. Like, you need to come in.
Right.
And she's like, "How serious is it? And they're just like, "You need to come in now." So when we found out later, when they were on the phone, they were already trying to resusc my dad.
I see.
They just reworked the hospital, and so it was all private wards, and my dad had been on oxygen all day. But at some point during that day, he'd brushed off his mask, so he wasn't getting enough oxygen. So when they phoned us, they were already like trying to resusc him. I think his official like cause of death is a form of cancer that he had that had spread like it'd gone undetected, and it just spread like wildfire.
I see.
So like he'd had a couple falls, so like there's a little bit in like the base of his neck. There was more like in his lungs, like it just sort of gone everywhere. It just been undetected. So that's the official cause. I think it was more an amalgamation of things and him not being well already.
It's like my granddad as well. My granddad actually was exactly the same way as well. When they find out about the real problem, about the cancer, it was already spread around, and there was not much could do. But he was suffering for a while about it. But they're in a better place now for sure, you know. And
they are, of course.
And they look for us for sure. Let's get another question.
Yep, next one. Here we go.
Let's do it, Euan. Good. What do you like the most about your best friends?
Best friend. So unfortunately, my best friend doesn't live in my city. He still lives at home, and like in Aberdeen. He's just recently moved out. But my best thing about him is probably I will be just absolutely absurd, and he'll just run with it. He'll just be like, right, okay, makes sense. Or if he's ever down, it's like, right, here's the plan. We're gonna go out and we'll go hard, and it'll be great. And we'll just talk absolute rubbish to each other. Like we play on PlayStation sometimes, and we're just chatting absolute. There's no meaning to it whatsoever, but I think it's just what I think that's probably my favorite thing is that we can just talk about nothing, and we're like, cool. And it doesn't, even though we've not seen each other for probably about a year now, and he's not been able to come down because of restrictions.
Yep.
But we're still able to keep up to date and keep chatting.
I see. But when the connection is there, that's it.
Yeah, like it doesn't matter how long it's been or how
Yeah.
far it's been. Like when he arrives, it's as if he's never left.
Yeah, it's totally like
It's
that.
still that way, which is
Absolutely.
good.
Next question. Let's do it. Before the next question, what's the best part of living in Glasgow?
Best part of living in Glasgow, for me, it was the complete change from the move.
Okay.
So where I came from, it was very much, I lived in a wee town and I didn't really leave that town. I was
Right.
near Aberdeen, but I never really went to Aberdeen. I'd never really been to the city. I'd go
Okay.
in every now and then for a little bit, but I knew a very small portion of it. Whereas
Okay.
moving to Glasgow and this entirely new place, like living in the centre of a city and seeing all that goes on and like making friends and then like just being like, all right, okay. And then like, oh, we're going out. And so I'd never been out before because I was held back a year in school because of my birthday. So I was older than all my friends. So we'd never gone out by the time I'd moved, like because they weren't able to because they weren't old enough. And so moving down here where people were old enough and it was like, oh yeah, let's just go. Like tonight, it's like, sure, okay. And so like the nightlife, just like being around it and just there being so much going on.
Right.
Generally, like in normal times, like I was never bored for anything.
Totally.
Right now,
Yeah.
I'm a bit bored because everything's shut, and I'm like, what do I do with my day? But like, before like things were shut down, like I was doing like sword classes.
Wow.
I'd go to the cinema. Like I'd go to the theater. I could go on a night out. I'd go to a pub. Like there was so many options for me to just go and do something. I went to an escape room once. So that's probably the best part is just there being that abundance of stuff happening and going on all the time.
Totally.
And just that stark contrast between this kind of quiet town where nothing
Right.
really happened,
I see.
to then going into this big city where there's constantly stuff happening. It's like, okay, right.
Absolutely. Next question is, what's the best advice have you ever received?
So in regards to the best advice I've received, it probably came from college, and it was from one of my lecturers who said, "You're good at what you do. Just do it." Because I was struggling with a scene that we were doing, and I was like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Like I'm really struggling with it. And he's like, "But you are good though. Like just do what you want to do, and if I want to change it, I'll tell you."
Wow.
So it was all about just having confidence like in myself to like, because I'd had so much experience. He was like, you've done this so many times now. Like, you know what you're doing. You've done it. You've been acting for a long time. Just do it.
Wow.
And if I want to change it, I will. But I doubt I will need to.
Very
So
good.
just like trusting my own senses.
Totally.
But that was quite a late bit of advice that I took on board, just because I was just always before. It's like, right, you need to do this. You need to do that. Like, it's like, all right, cool.
Let's go for another question. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Okay. Next question is, what makes you most uncomfortable about dating?
What makes me most uncomfortable about dating? I've got no experience in dating. I've never been on a date. But I think, like, in regards to, like, dating apps, the most uncomfortable thing is that I can't get a conversation going well enough. And they're giving me replies back, and it's just, like, a one-word answer. So I end up feeling like I'm in the middle of an interrogation. I'm like, you need to give me something back. In regards to physical dates, I've never had one. But hopefully at some point soon.
No, it's fine. Let's
No.
go for another one. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Right. Next question is, what made you laugh so hard last time?
Last time I laughed, I think it was. It was on it. I was playing games with my friends, and it just was so like abysmally bad how I was playing that there was nothing I could do but laugh. and I just went into this laughing like attack where I couldn't stop laughing about how bad that was going. I was like, it's brilliant, love it. But it was that'll have probably been the last time I was laughing like so hard I lost control. But that happens that happens to me a few times, especially if I'm around my best friend, and I'll just start laughing at absolutely nothing. Like, literally just the epitome of no one, literally nobody, Euan, and just starts laughing and he won't stop. And what's so funny, I'm like, I don't know, I just can't stop laughing. But last time was probably like just playing so badly on a game that all I could do was laugh. Because otherwise it would have just been too aggravating and too annoying.
Right, let's get another question. Right. Before the next question, tell me who's your favorite actor and your favorite actress?
Ooh, my favorite actor. Well, a big inspiration for me was David Tennant, particularly his 10th Doctor rendition. That was when that was on. That was kind of about the time where I was like, I really got into acting.
Okay.
So for me, David Tennant was a huge guiding factor in inspiring me to do more like that way. Realizing what it could do. And yeah, so he's probably my favorite actor. I company with other guys, like there's so many people that have inspired me throughout my time. Like Johnny Depp was like a milestone for me in the sense that seeing his Jack Sparrow and playing this really like out there character, I was like, all right, okay, this could be fun. Like if I can just play this character, is so absurd. And then I started like getting to impressions, and then so I started like trying to do impressions of different people. So like I'll do Jack Sparrow, Kermit Frog, Stitch. Who else have we got? I'm attempting Yoda, but failing right now. So like David Tennant primarily was probably a leading factor for me wanting to go down this route of
I see.
like trying to do like strict acting. Also Hugh Jackman is phenomenal as well. Like seeing him as like Wolverine. Just like, whoa, like that's cool. Like Logan is a masterpiece. Like
Absolutely.
I love Logan so much. But like it's just a case of
How about an actress?
Actresses, probably Emilia Clarke. I do enjoy watching her. Like I saw her like originally in Game of Thrones, and then through like Solo. But then like just generally just actors, and so like, I love Friends as well. I think Friends is great. And Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Like I find them really funny.
Yeah.
But probably Emilia Clarke is probably one of the favorite actors that I'd like look for. Like, all right, okay, she's in it. Cool. That'll be interesting to watch.
Cool. Next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
5 years. Ooh, hopefully, with some acting jobs under my belt. Hopefully, maybe in a relationship of some kind. I imagine I've got no plans of moving outside of Glasgow for now. I'm quite happy where I'm at just now.
Right.
So I can't see myself moving anywhere. But it's always that luck of the draw, and see what hand you get dealt in it.
Totally agree. I've enjoyed the show so far, Euan.
Yes, it has. It's been very good. It's been good. Good to just chat.
Yes. Another question then. Let's get it. Next question is, what is your idea of a perfect friendship?
Perfect friendship. So someone who you can rely on wholeheartedly, that you know they're going to be there for you and they'll help you out when you need it. Like I've got a really good group of friends here that I know for a fact, like multiple of them are like, if you need anything, just give us a shout. And just that support network to like look in at you, check it, and you like oh, how are you doing today? Like, if you've been quite quiet in like the chat or whatever, they're like, oh, are you all right? Just being able to meet up with them and just like talk and know that there's people there to help you.
Absolutely.
And that you can rely on. Like, I know that if my friends are like, oh, can I borrow like a tenner? I'm like, sure thing, go. And I know I'll get it back within like a week or like their next pay or whatever. Like,
Absolutely.
complete wholehearted trust and just being able to just be comfortable around each other.
Absolutely.
And just supporting each other when you can. Like, I was out with a friend one time on a night out, and it looked like there was another guy who was gonna get what's the word? Confrontational.
Okay.
But I knew like it didn't. I was able to like kind of like talk him like down out of it. But like I knew my friend there afterwards. He was like, "You realize I was ready to just like spear him through that window. Like I was
Wow.
ready to go. Like if he swung at you, I would have gone. Like I've been no need. It was fine. But like just knowing that there's someone there to back you up. If for whatever reason, like God forbid that something bad did happen, you know that you've got people there with you to back up.
Totally.
Especially if you're going out on a night out in town where you know that people are going to be drinking alcohol. You know people
Yeah.
might not be as stable as they would be sober. Like
Totally.
knowing that like if there is a spot of trouble, that the friends you're out with are like willing to help you out. Like
Totally.
if you need it. Not that it ever does. Like it's completely
know.
extreme of the situation, but like it's always that way where he was like, oh no, I was ready to spear him through that window there. I'm like, it's okay. We managed to talk him down. Let's just enjoy our night.
Let's get another question. Let's do it. Right. Next question is, what makes you feel discouraged?
Discouraged.
Yeah.
Making me discouraged. I don't feel like I get discouraged an awful lot, but definitely one thing that does is if someone who you've relied on falls through.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've had friends in the past that have like said things like, "Oh yeah," and they're like, "Pals," and like we've done things, but then it's kind of just that we like kind of backhand where like I've been dismissed, and it's like, oh, but then why am I even here then? Like just like having like honestly none of the friends I've had just now. But like that was more like in my younger years, like there was things that would happen and it's like, oh well, there's no point in me being here. Can make me feel a bit discouraged, like feeling like I'm not contributing to a situation.
I
So
see.
it's like, I mean, like if I was at college and I was talking with like people like in my class, sometimes I'd be like in a conversation that I was part of, and then they went into a direction I was way like underinformed on, and I was like, why am I even here? And just that feeling of isolation, I'd be like, I should probably just leave then because I'm no use here.
I see.
That's probably what makes me feel the most discouraged, is feeling like I'm not useful in the situation I'm in.
Okay.
So like feeling useful, but if I'm not feeling useful, it's like, all right, okay, I'm just gonna go hide in the back now.
3 questions left. Let's do it.
No worries.
Right, next question is, if you could go back in time in one moment in your life, what that would be and why?
It would probably be the weekend of like that my dad passed, and because I was 17 and because he was in and out of hospital so much, I sort of dismissed it. So like Sunday I went in to see him, and then I didn't go in on the Monday. So I was like, it'll be fine. I'll see him like tomorrow. But he died on Tuesday, so I never got my chance to say goodbye. So just the fact that I was able to I just dismissed that is a bit haunting. So it's like, I should have gone in. Why did I not go in? So I knew he was unwell. But I was just that way where I was like, he's been in the hospital before, and I dismissed it. I'll go in that day, but then he was gone that day. So like, not getting a proper goodbye. So if I could go back one day, it would probably be that weekend, and so I could go in like every day.
I see.
because on the Monday he was apparently brilliant because he was laughing about himself, like laughing about how silly he was and how he thought he was somewhere he wasn't. He's like, oh, so absurd, and he was having a joke about it. But when I saw him, it wasn't my dad anymore, because he was talking about like seeing things, and he was so confused on that Sunday. But on the Monday he was brilliant, but then Tuesday was gone. So like being able to go in on that Monday and see him more kind of like back to him old self, like having a joke around or whatever, that would be what I'd really want to do if I could.
I see. But I think everything happened for a reason, you know. Sometimes it's just the way things are, and I just think but I know what I mean. I totally know what I mean. It would be nice sometimes if you could change little bits, you know, in the
just
past.
A wee bit.
Yeah.
And then if I changed that wee bit, maybe I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Totally.
Which I wouldn't change for the world. So
absolutely. I think when we understand and we accept it, that's halfway. You know, when you accept it, and it's just life. Sometimes I have some moments in my life as well that I was like, oh my God, I wish I could go back just that moment, like for a minute, just to. But if somebody would give this power, I think I would say no. Yeah, it's still. You know, I would say no. I don't want just to. Right, 2 questions left. Yeah, let's do it. They say when you're Brazilian, you have 2 ways when you're born: or you become a football player, or you become a dancer. I went to the dancer stuff. I mean, I'm not a professional dancer, but you have this move. So
as long as you've got the moves, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Right. Next question is: what is the silliest thing have you ever posted online?
Silliest thing I've ever posted online. I'm very diligent about what I post online because I trust nobody. But probably the silliest thing would be like, I don't even know. Like there's a lot of like really silly photos I've taken with my friends where like it was in college and we were in halls, we were having a wee party in halls, and me and all the guys from the course, and I think some of the girls were in there as well, I can't remember, I've not seen the photo in ages, and we just did like a wee photo shoot as if we were some weird like college band, and then we posted them on Instagram and things. It was like, oh God. Like just that wee bit of joking around, but it's like, all right, okay, nothing ever too absurd I post them because I'm quite diligent with what I do. I post online, but I think that was probably the silliest thing, was I was just like being as posy as we could and like posting it in black and white and things. That was a good night though. Good memory.
Cool. Last question now. Let's do it. For the next question, Ian, just tell me, what do you feel the most proud of being Scottish?
Most proud of being Scottish? There's nothing really that stands out to me. I'm just very proud of the way that we are and the way I've come out because of it. Like where I'm from, we've got our own dialect called Doric. Okay. And I speak it here and no one understands a word that I'm saying. But it makes me very proud to be Scottish, that we can all be so different. And yet we're still all the same. Like we're all still same country now, but there can be such drastic differences. All right. Like, so I was really worried when I moved that, what if I don't make friends? Like, what if like kind of panicking, but I moved down and it was almost like instantaneous. We started making friends and things. Yeah. Like even though I was from like 3 hours like up north on a train, like miles and miles away, and yet I can still find ways to connect to people from a completely different like section with their own unique thing. Like especially in Glasgow, it's such a varied city with about 4 different accents depending on which part you're in. Wow. You got the South Side accent, you got West End accent, you got Central Glasgow, you got all sorts of people. And yet we'll all still be that same thing, and we'll all be like, yeah, we're Scottish and we're proud of it. If I'm ever asked, say, I'm from Britain, but I'm Scottish. Yeah. On any forums, I'm Scottish.
Good, very good. What's the best gift have you ever received, and from who?
But probably one of the best gifts I got in recent memory was one that I didn't expect at all. And it was from a friend who'd just come back from holiday, and I'd met up with her for a coffee because she got back, and she just pulled out this this box and was like, "That's for you." I'm like,
Wow.
"Why?" It's like, "No, that's yours." And I opened it up and it was a steel tankard, and I was like, "Oh, that's really nice," because I like myself a drink, but at the same time, just the fact that it just wasn't expected. It was just like I'd gone to meet her for like a coffee, and then she's like, "Oh, that's for you." I'm like, "Oh, thanks."
Okay, Jan, it's not the end yet. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to give away some words and you just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind, okay? Quick thinking.
Okay.
Let's start with religion.
Not partial to it.
Politics.
Rather dull in my opinion.
Life.
Exciting.
Sex.
Limited.
Family.
Important.
Money.
Survival.
Love.
Most important thing.
Fear.
Fear.
Yeah.
Afraid. Terrifying.
Okay. Friendship.
Solidarity.
Desire.
Blessing and a curse.
I like that. I like this one. Regret.
Parasitic.
Okay. I like this word. Parasitic. Wish.
Wish. Magic.
Amazing. And the last one, Glasgow.
Home.
Great, great. Right, so now let's play now, Jan, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question, okay? Right, you can ask me a question now.
So, I'm bringing back a question that you asked me earlier. And
Okay.
what is the best bit of advice that you've been given?
I'll tell you something now, Jan. I'm quite lucky because through my life journey, I've been living on my own since I'm 18 years old. I moved to Europe when I was 19 on my own, and since then I've got so many advice that I remember. Actually, the other day I was talking about that with a friend, and the first advice that came to my mind when you asked this question is when I was in Portugal when I was 19. I didn't have too much support, like imagine you're a teenager, my God, when I look back now, I was like, my God, I was literally a teenager when I arrived there, and I've been lucky enough that people cross my path, like very special people that always guide me, help me through the way, and I'll tell you that one of the best advice I ever had in my life was, I remember when I was there, and I was working in a restaurant, and this Brazilian guy, he was living there. He was older than me. He had a family already, had kids, and I was working at the time, and I remember before we started the shift, we had like a meal together, and we were open the door of the restaurant. We were waiting for the clients to arrive, and I remember it was winter time, and I was standing like in the window, and I didn't realize that I was on my own. They were all talking between them, making jokes, my colleagues. And I was just on the side, but I didn't realize that. And suddenly he came up to me and he said to me, "Did you leave a girlfriend in Brazil or someone special?" I was like, "No, why?" He said, "Will, I can see that you are a bit like melancholic on the side. Join us. Let's come here. Let's have some fun." And he said to me, "Don't worry. I know you just arrived. It's been like I was like 2 weeks there or 3 weeks." He said, "Don't worry. Just give a time. If you can stay here 3 months." Brazil's gonna be there all the time. So if you need to go back one point, if you don't like it, you can come back anytime. Brazil's gonna be there all the time. So just give a try. Don't give up so easily. Give a try, and you see." And he was so right. I really need to hear that because I have goosebumps now talking about, because I remember it was so powerful. Like his advice to me, because when you are like that young, sometimes you have a knowledge, but you need to listen. Need to kind of remind you and I remember this advice that to me, just stay, just give a go, give a chance. And if you don't like in a few months time, you can go back anytime, you're gonna be there, but give a try, give a go. And I never forget that. I think it was one of the best advice I ever had, because he was so right. Sometimes, you just need to try and keep trying and not give up so easily. So yeah, that's my answer to you. One of the best advice
Very
ever.
good.
Did you like to have a good time, Ian?
Yeah, it was a good time. Good talking to you.
Good. Thank you. Just before you finish, I'd just like to say thank you very much for you as well. I think you're a very, very genuine person. Thanks for sharing your story with your dad as well. And you are very genuine and very transparent as well. I think it's nice to connect with people. I think when I started this project, is that the whole idea is connect with people and just, you know, so they can go through their memories and sharing their experience as well. And I think that's all about, and I'm very thankful. Thanks so much for accepting my invitation. That's good. But just before you go, if you don't mind to share a positive quote or a positive message, something that inspires in life.
Okay, so I was struggling for this because I've got my memory, although I'm act and I learn lines for a living, my memory's not brilliant all the time. So I was like, oh, positive quote. I was like, oh, what am I going to do about this? I'm like, I need something to, right, I need some inspiration. So I went back to one of the things that I've had like all my life, which is Star Wars. Because I've always found they've really helped me, like, in sense of like coping with things, like that whole thing, like even like during the quickfire game where it's like desire, it's a blessing and a curse, because also probably from Star Wars, it's like dark side is your desire. So when I was asked to think of a quote, I was like, right, I'll go to Star Wars and I'll see if I can get something from that. I came across one and I didn't jump straight to my mind, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, I think this might be the one. And it's from episode 3, as Yoda returns to Coruscant with Obi-Wan. And I feel it's even more important now. Like it resonates more just out in our present situation. And the quote goes, "In a dark place we find ourselves, and a little more knowledge to guide our way."
Totally agree. I totally agree.
I feel like that resonates a lot more like recently because of the whole situation.
Totally.
Just seeing that, I was like, nah, that's making sense. Like, no matter how bad things might get, like I've had issues with mental health, like I've also with like all that sort of business. But no matter how dark it goes, you will have that wee bit more knowledge. Like if you lose friends, you've got that wee bit more knowledge of like to guide you onto your next way forward.
Totally.
Which is why I chose to go with that quote for today.
Amazing. I'm so glad you shared that as well, because it makes so sense. I think sometimes you need to go to the dark place to learn lessons, to come stronger. And it's all part of life as well. Imagine if life was perfect and happy. I think we wouldn't learn anything. I think everyone would be like
boring.
Boring. It would be boring, actually. Yes. And I know it's a desire. People were like, "Oh, I wish I could be happy every day." I don't think I wish I could be happy every day, because you wouldn't learn anything. We just would be, like I said, boring. It would be a boring life. And when you understand that as well, I think it makes life easier when you understand. Because sometimes when you are in a very dark place, you think it's gonna be forever. You think, okay, it's not gonna go out. But at one point, you're gonna get out of there, and I'm sure you're gonna feel grateful in a way that you went through that dark side, because it's you just got a lesson and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks so much. I really enjoyed. You're such a nice guy. Thanks so much, and have a lovely day.
Thank you very much for having me.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why you'd like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.